Hey, folks. Bless your wrist. Thank you so much. Thank you for the tier 1. Everybody, I'm really excited for tonight. A marble roll, a long time in the making. Thank you so much, wrist. Thank you. This is a brand new series that I've been excited to do for a little while. You know, we've been talking about it. We've been beating around the bush for a while. Xenogears, as you know, Dice Game comes into chat and goes, Yap Gears this, Yap Gears that. There's a group watching the Fata Morgana VODs week over week on their own time. Misericord Volume 1 is well underway. And I thought to myself, why act like we're here for anything else at this point? So I want to introduce you all to a brand new series. This is The Bookshelf. The Bookshelf works and operates like any series here on the channel that we have done in the past. Marble roll, randomly selected.
Got you up on the big screen for the big roll.
Thank you so much. Thank you. If you've been reading between the lines, it's been kind of obvious. I completely agree. We've got 21 books randomly selected here for our next roll, our inaugural bookshelf roll. And I thought we'd take some time in classic Capralogue fashion to take a minute to show you the selections for tonight, give a little bit of a backstory as to why I or you may be excited for any of these picks. It's a pretty wide-ranging list here, and I'm just really looking forward to it. So thank you everybody for joining so far. Remember, you can use Easy Join to join in on this race if you are subscribed by just sending join. What's up, gamers? Maybe.
You know I'm not here about the money.
Maybe on another night, Ezer. Tonight, it's What's Up, Readers. Welcome to The Bookshelf, a brand new series here on Capralogue. What's up, readers? I want to talk about the 21 books that I have in the running for the inaugural bookshelf list. And we'll start in author order. I almost said artist. We'll start in authorial order with the first book on the list, a book that I'm very excited to show. This is They Can't Kill Us Until They Kill Us by Hanif Abdurraqib. Abdurraqib is an essayist that I actually saw live, doing live readings of essays, including one that's in this book, at a music festival in, I believe, 2016, I think. He is an arts, culture, music, and sports essayist that is very thoughtful, very, very, very wonderful stories. Relating like modern music and sports, A Night in Bruce Springsteen's America, Carly Rae Jepsen Loves You Back, with the opening line, "Is that weed? Who the fuck brings weed to a Carly Rae Jepsen concert?" Very, 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 very good writer that I like quite a bit. They Can't Kill Us Until They Kill Us is the book that I have of his work, a collection of essays that would be a great first foray into the bookshelf, because in a lot of ways, I think that Hanif Abdurraqib celebrates art in a very similar way that I celebrate art. Never heard of this guy before, looks super up my alley. Jay, I think you'd love him. I really do. I genuinely think you'd love him. So that is the first book in this randomly selected list for the bookshelf. The second book for the bookshelf is... Hang on. I have to do it here so that it goes properly. The second book is Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. This is a book from 2024. This is the newest book on this list. This is one that has gotten tremendous amounts of praise online that I purchased at the end of last year and have not gotten a chance to read it yet. I mean, the praise is just unending, it seems. This is a book, and I'll read you the blurb here. Cyrus Shams, the novel's hero, is a young man grappling with an inheritance of violence and loss. A mother whose plane was shot down over the skies of the Persian Gulf in a senseless accident, and a father whose life in America was circumscribed by killing chickens on a factory farm in the Midwest. Cyrus is a drunk, an addict, and a poet whose obsession with martyrs leads him into the mysteries of his past, toward an uncle who rode through Iranian battlefields dressed as the angel of death to inspire and comfort the dying, and toward his mother, through a painting discovered in a Brooklyn art gallery that suggests she might not have been who or what she seemed. Cyrus is guided on his journey by the voices of artists, poets, and kings, and delivered, in the novel's unforgettable final pages, to a world that teems with unforeseen wonders. Martyr is a work of gut-wrenching anguish and exquisite consolation, a book that sees into every corner of the human heart, that faces down shame and despair, and emerges with a vision of humanity that is capacious and full of grace. An astonishing debut. What's going on, Arvid? Welcome to the new series on this channel, The Bookshelf. We're cutting out the middleman. We're not reading in-games anymore. We're reading. This is something that has been a long time coming, and I thought it would be a perfect place to start. Martyr, Kaveh Akbar. The second book in this randomly selected list of books off of my bookshelf. Next up, you might have heard of this one. Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. You guys know this one? Welcome to the library. Marriage can be a real killer. One of the most critically acclaimed suspense writers of our time, New York Times bestseller Gillian Flynn takes that statement to its darkest place in this unput-downable masterpiece about a marriage gone terribly, terribly wrong. The Chicago Tribune proclaimed that her work draws you in and keeps you reading with the force of a pure but nasty addiction. Gone Girl's toxic mix of sharp-edged wit and deliciously chilling prose creates a nerve-fraying thriller that confounds you at every turn. On a warm summer morning in North Carthage, Missouri, it is Nick and Amy Dunn's 5th wedding anniversary. Presents are being wrapped and reservations are being made when Nick's clever and beautiful wife disappears from their rented McMansion on the Mississippi River. Husband of the year Nick isn't doing himself any favors with cringeworthy daydreams about the slope and shape of his wife's head, but passages from Amy's diary reveal the alpha girl perfectionist could have put anyone dangerously on edge. Under mounting pressure from the police and the media, As well as Amy's fiercely doting parents, the town golden boy parades an endless series of lies, deceits, and inappropriate behavior. Nick is oddly evasive, and he's definitely bitter. But is he really a killer? As the cops close in, every couple in town is soon wondering how well they know the one that they love. With his twin sister Margot at his side, Nick stands by his innocence. Trouble is, if Nick didn't do it, where's that beautiful wife? And what was in that silvery gift box hidden in the back of her bedroom closet? With her razor-sharp writing and trademark psychological insight, Gillian Flynn delivers a fast-paced, devilishly dark, and ingeniously plotted thriller that confirms her status as one of the hottest writers around. The third book up for the inaugural bookshelf roll. Give it up for Gone Girl. Next up, we love a good trenchant insight. That's true, that's true. Next up, what's up, Axel? How are you doing? Welcome in. Welcome to the bookshelf. Welcome in, reader. How are you? Next up, this is Just My Type by Simon Garfield. A book about fonts. A delightfully inquisitive tour that explores the rich history and subtle powers of type. Fonts surround us every day, on street signs and buildings, on movie posters and books, on just about every product that we buy. But where do fonts come from? And why do we need so many? Who is behind the business-like subtlety of Times New Roman, the cool detachment of Arial, or the maddening lightness of Comic Sans, and the movement to ban it? Simon Garfield embarks on a mission to answer these questions and more, and reveal what may be the very best and worst fonts in the world. Typefaces are now 560 years old, but we barely knew their names until about 20 years ago, when the pull-down font menus on our first computers made us all the gods of type. Beginning in the early days of Gutenberg and ending with the most adventurous digital fonts, Garfield unravels our age-old obsession with the way our words look. Just My Type investigates a range of modern mysteries, including how Helvetica took over the world, what inspires the seemingly ubiquitous use of Trajan on bad movie posters, and what makes a font look presidential, male or female, American, British, German, or Jewish. From the typeface of Beatlemania to the graphic vision of the Obama campaign, fonts can signal a musical revolution or the rise of an American president. This book is a must-read for the design conscious that will forever change the way you look at the printed word. The fourth book, ready for the inaugural roll of the bookshelf, is Just My Type by Simon Garfield. Who already? I saw Fair say I already know which one I'm giving my credit to. I'm wondering if anybody else has gotten 4 books in and goes, I already know where I want to go. I already know where I want to go. I'm torn between 2. Okay. Well, maybe this one will change your mind. The 5th book for the inaugural bookshelf roll. Give it up for the New International Version Bible by God's Messengers. In lieu of an actual name, I just called it God's Messengers. Now, we know the Bible. What I will say is, this one has a personal. It's addressed to me. So I'm not going to show the first page, but we know the Bible. I actually don't know the Bible, never read it. Neither have I. I should add. These are all first read-throughs for me. This is going to be a first read through here on the channel. Okay? So just like anything else, every book you've seen so far is a first read through for me. Gotta stay true to the spirit of the channel. Gotta stay true. Not gonna lie, I sat and read through the Bible in middle school. Hell yeah. It's a perfect jumping in point. Yeah, I mean, it's got relative connections to both of the games that we're playing. I'll have to really sit on my hands for that one. Yeah, no spoilers, please. No spoilers. The next book, the sixth book on my bookshelf list, and the first one that is going to require me to turn on the scroll here, we're now looking at A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking. Includes new material. In Stephen Hawking's landmark #1 New York Times bestseller, now updated with a new introduction and 6 short essays on the current science, one of today's greatest scientific minds explores such profound questions as, how did the universe begin, and what made its start possible? Does time always flow forward? Is the universe unending, or are there boundaries? Are there other dimensions in space? And what will happen when it all ends? Told in a language we all can understand, A Brief History of Time plunges into the exotic realms of black holes and quarks, of antimatter and arrows of time, of the Big Bang and a bigger God, where the possibilities are wondrous and unexpected. With exciting images and profound imagination, Stephen Hawking brings us closer to the ultimate secrets at the very heart of creation. What's up, Phantom Girl? How are you? Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome to the inaugural Bookshelf Roll, a new series here on the channel where I'll be doing a read-through of some of the best books of all time, including A Brief History of Time. Next up, anybody have any guesses? So we're going, I should say, we're going in alphabetical author last name order, if you haven't noticed so far. Not Twilight. After Stephen Hawking comes Frank Herbert. That's right. Next up is Dune. Classic. Science fiction's supreme masterpiece. Dune will forever be considered a triumph of the imagination. Set on the desert planet Arrakis, it is the story of the boy Paul Atreides, who will become the mysterious man known as Muad'Dib. Paul's noble family is named stewards of Arrakis, whose sands are the only source of a powerful drug called the Spice. After his family is brought down in a traitorous plot, Paul must go undercover to seek revenge and to bring to fruition humankind's most ancient and unattainable dream. A stunning blend of adventure and mysticism, environmentalism and politics, Dune won the first Nebula Award, shared the Hugo Award, and formed the basis of what is undoubtedly the grandest epic in science fiction history. Dune is on the list for the first read-through as part of the bookshelf. Very exciting one. Very exciting one. Next up. So I'll touch back in. Has anybody that thought that they knew what they were gonna pick in the first 3 books now had their selection shifted by the next 4? Because we're up to 7 books right now. 7 of 21. We're a third of the way there. Next up. Thank you, everybody. I've been really nervous to announce this. I think it's, unorthodox even as far as like unorthodoxy goes on Twitch. But I think that, like Fair said, all signs were pointing here. The bookshelf is what I think going to be a big staple going forward and a real celebration. Next book on the list, the 8th book. Thanks, Jay. Next up, The Unbearable Lightness of Being by Milan Kundera. To imagine, to dream about things that have not happened, is among mankind's deepest needs. A young woman is in love with a successful surgeon. A man torn between his love for her and his incorrigible womanizing. His mistress, a free-spirited artist, lives her life as a series of betrayals, while her other lover, earnest, faithful, and good, stands to lose everything because of his noble qualities. In a world where lives are shaped by irrevocable choices and fortuitous events, and everything occurs but once, existence seems to lose its substance, its weight. Hence we feel the unbearable lightness of being. A major achievement from one of the world's truly great writers, Milan Kundera's magnificent novel of passion and politics, infidelity and ideas, encompasses the extremes of comedy and tragedy, illuminating all aspects of human existence. That is The Unbearable Lightness of Being, a novel by Milan Kundera. This is one that I believe is one of Minky Moo's. But I've seen it. It does not smell like any of the homes that I have lived in my life. But it is a book that I've seen on the bookshelf multiple times, and I'm like, this is nice. I'd like to read this. And so that's one of the books in the inaugural bookshelf list. Next up, this book is signed. I don't know if it's signed to my name. Let me make sure. No, it's just signed. I did meet this author in person, got this book signed in person, and then didn't read it. So tonight could change that. The next book on the list is Famous People by Justin Kuritzkis. Now, you may be familiar with Justin Kuritzkis from Challengers, from Queer. There he is right there. I met him in person at the book signing in Brooklyn. I've been a fan of Kuritzky's work for years and years and years and years through, a YouTube channel, Potion Seller, among others. My favorite video that I've shown multiple times on the channel, 100% a Frog, is without a doubt my favorite, but Dolores is a great one. You and Me is a really good one. I've been a big fan. I had intentions of seeing some of the plays that he wrote, but never got a chance to when I was living in New York. But I did go to the signing, Q&A, and release party for his novel, Famous People. So this is a first edition printing. I think it's actually might even be a pre-release printing. It's probably just listed under first edition. Yeah, 2019. This fresh, smart novel, in the guise of a celebrity memoir, probes the inner life of a mega famous pop star. Honestly, what amazes me the most with a lot of the people I meet is that they think they're so big. They think ultimately that the whole universe revolves around them. And I'm beginning to think that it's only when you live a life like mine. It's only when you're in a position where you don't even really own yourself, when you can't even really say that you're a citizen of any particular country, that you realize that we're all just tiny pieces of cosmic dust floating through the void until we disappear forever and we're never heard from again. So begins the life story of our uber-famous 22-year-old narrator. a teen idol since he was 12. When a video of him singing went viral, his star has only risen since. Now, haunted by the suicide of his manager father, unsettled by the very different paths he and his teenage love and girl pop star counterpart Mandy have taken, and increasingly aware that he has signed on to something he has little control over, he begins to parse the divide that separates him from the normal people of the world. Sneakily philosophical, earnest, and funny, Famous People is a rollicking, unforgettable look at the clash between fame and the human condition. This is Justin Kuritsky's Famous People. If you liked Challengers last year, if you liked Queer last year, if you're just a fan of the Potion Seller YouTube video, might be one to check out, and could be the first roll on the bookshelf. Next up, I don't know what number we're on, but I think it might be, if there's 7 in a pile, 8, 9, so this might be the 10th book, I think? This one is a pretty interesting one. This is Salt by Mark Kurlansky, A World History. Salt, the only rock we eat, has made a glittering, often surprising contribution to the history of mankind. Humankind. My apologies. Until about 100 years ago, when modern geology revealed its prevalence, salt was one of the world's most sought-after commodities. A substance so valuable it served as currency, salt has influenced the establishment of trade routes and cities, provoked and financed wars, secured empires, and inspired revolutions. Populated by colorful characters and filled with fascinating details, Mark Kurlansky's kaleidoscopic and illuminating history is a multi-layered masterpiece that blends economic, scientific, political, religious, and culinary records into a rich and memorable tale. A fun, memoir-style, nonfiction history of salt. Really exciting. This is Salt, A World History by Mark Kurlansky. Could be the inaugural bookshelf roll. For those just coming in, welcome to the newest series on the channel, something I'm very excited about. This is the bookshelf. Stepping away from games for a while, I will be doing my first read of some of the best books of all time, pulled directly from my bookshelf as a way to, cut down on my reading list a little bit and also share some pretty incredible stories. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. The next up, and again, I should add that these were just pulled off my shelf at random. The next book on my list, Cormac McCarthy's The Road. Now I have to make sure this one doesn't have my name in it anymore either. No, we're good. A searing post-apocalyptic novel destined to become Cormac McCarthy's masterpiece. A father and his son walk alone through burned America. Nothing moves in the ravaged landscape save the ash on the wind. It is cold enough to crack stones, and when the snow falls, it is gray. The sky is dark. Their destination is the coast, although they don't know what, if anything, awaits them there. They have nothing. Just a pistol to defend themselves against the lawless bands that stalk the road, the clothes they are wearing, a cart of scavenged food, and each other. The Road is the profoundly moving story of a journey. It boldly imagines a future in which no hope remains, but in which a father and his son, each the other world's entire, are sustained by love. Awesome. In the totality of its vision, The Road is an unflinching meditation on the worst and the best that we are capable of. Ultimate destructiveness, desperate tenacity, and the tenderness that keeps two people alive in the face of total devastation. Big book, Cormac McCarthy's The Road, could be the first selection for the bookshelf. Next up, after The Road, anybody have any guesses of what's next? We'll check in on guesses. I'm surprised that Tarot got the Bible shot immediately when it happened. That was crazy to me. I'm wondering if lightning can strike twice here. I know the Bible is like the easiest layup, but if anybody has a guess for the next book on the list, now would be a good time to shout it out, and we'll see if you're right. Here we go. The next book, Stephenie Meyer's Twilight. About 3 things I was absolutely positive. First, Edward was a vampire. Second, there was a part of him, and I didn't know how potent that part might be, that thirsted for my blood. And third, I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him. Twilight. I mean, it's a classic. I would say it's one of the most important books of the 2000s. I don't think anybody can argue that. This paperback cover is part of a collection that Minky Moo has of all of the books. I think Twilight is a tour de force as far as fiction is concerned in the 2000s, brought an entire generation of kids and teens and adults not only into like Dracula vampire literature, but also romance novels. And for that reason and many more, Stephenie Meyer's Twilight is a book that I've always wanted to read in the back of my mind, and I think the bookshelf might be the best way to do so here on the channel. I've seen the movie like 12 times, but never read the book. Hell yeah. I've seen the movie once, and I was at a friend's house with Minky Moo, and I don't remember a single thing of it. Next up, Why Fish Don't Exist. Are we getting like George Orwell next? Lulu Miller, actually. Not quite Orwell. And I don't think there's Orwell in my list. A Story of Loss, Love, and the Hidden Order of Life by Lulu Miller. David Starr Jordan was a taxonomist, a man possessed with bringing order to the natural world. But chaos seemed out to get him. His fish collections were demolished by lightning, by fire, and eventually by the 1906 San Francisco earthquake, which sent more than 1,000 specimens housed in fragile glass jars plummeting to the floor. In an instant, his life's work was shattered. But instead of giving in to despair, Jordan introduced one clever innovation that he believed would at last protect his work against the chaos of the world. When NPR reporter Lulu Miller first heard about this anecdote in passing, she took Jordan for a fool, a cautionary tale in hubris or denial. But as her own life slowly unraveled, she began to wonder about him. Perhaps, instead, he was a model for how to go on when all seemed lost. What she would unearth about his life would transform her understanding of nature, history, morality, and love. A dark and astonishing tale of love, chaos, scientific obsession, and possibly even murder. This is Why Fish Don't Exist by Lulu Miller. Another book that Wrist, you said you've heard of it. Very celebrated novel from the past few years. I think it's like within the last 10, right? Oh no, first paperback edition 2021. Last 5. Big book. Big celebrated book. This is Why Fish Don't Exist. Next up, we've got Mr. Boop, Volume 1. The titillating, fully legal comic strip sensation by Alec Robbins. Volume 1, My Wife is Betty Boop. In this collection are 52 comic strips. What would it be like to be married to Betty Boop? This precious limited edition book collects the first 52 strips of the seminal autobiographical newspaper classic Mr. Boop by cartoonist Alec Robbins. Inside these pages, you will also find 9 exclusive guest comics by some of today's most talented artists, as well as some rare, treasured bonus content. Come on, take a step inside the savory world of Mr. Boop. What have you got to be afraid of? Mr. Boop, Volume 1, could be the inaugural bookshelf roll for Capralogue. I knew that one would get some folks excited. I own Volume 1 and Volume 2. Next up, very celebrated modern writer who just had their debut within the last decade, released a book last year that I've heard nothing but great things about. However, this is their, I believe, second novel. This is from, hang on. ...2021. This is Beautiful World, Where Are You? By Sally Rooney. Yes, we would need to roll and finish Volume 1 before we can get to Volume 2. That's absolutely true. The only ones I've heard of are the Bible and Twilight. Nice. Alice, a novelist, meets Felix, who works in a warehouse and asks him if he'd like to travel to Rome with her. In Dublin, her best friend Eileen is getting over a breakup and slips back into flirting with Simon, a man she has known since childhood. Alice, Felix, Eileen, and Simon are still young, but life is catching up with them. They desire each other, they delude each other. They get together, they break apart. They have sex, they worry about sex, they worry about their friendships, and the world they live in. Are they standing in the last lighted room before the darkness, bearing witness to something? Will they find a way to believe in a beautiful world? Again, Sally Rooney, one of the most celebrated novelists of the last decade, probably, right? Huge, big time name. Intermezzo was the book that came out last year that I've heard nothing but great things about. And actually, I wound up going with Martyr instead. Because Martyr, the Kaveh Akbar book, was a debut, it just felt a little bit more exciting to get on the ground floor of a writer. Hope Rushdie is next. Not Rushdie. Let me make sure I did put Sally Rooney on there. Next up is like Hanif Abdurakib, They Can't Kill Us Until They Kill Us. This is a collection of stories. The next book is David Sedaris's Calypso. David Sedaris is a writer that I've seen live twice, I believe. And I actually think I picked this book up at one of his readings. Yeah, I've seen him twice. My dad and I are very, very big fans of Sedaris. Definitely up my alley in terms of style of humor, style of writing, and just overall view of things. I like him a lot. We used to listen to, I would say the best way to listen to Sedaris is audiobooks. If there's anybody to do an audiobook, you gotta rip some David Sedaris audiobooks. You know, all read by the author, and he's got such an idiosyncratic voice and meter to reading his own writing. It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stuff. We used to just go on car rides, little road trips, my dad and I, and just listen to Naked and, what's the other one? Me Talk Pretty One Day. Really good guy. David Sedaris returns with his most deeply personal and darkly hilarious book. If you've ever laughed your way through David Sedaris' cheerfully misanthropic stories, you might think you know what you're getting into with Calypso. You'd be wrong. When he buys a beach house on the Carolina coast, Sedaris envisions long, relaxing vacations spent playing board games and lounging in the sun with those he loves most. And life at the C-section, as he names the vacation home, is exactly as idyllic as he imagined. Except for one tiny, vexing realization. It's impossible to take a vacation from yourself. We're not going to do roll credits today, just because it's an inaugural thing, but I will get you in for a join, so don't worry about those. Those won't get deducted, but we're just going to do just the roll. With Calypso, Sedaris sets his formidable powers of observation toward middle age and mortality. Make no mistake, these stories are very, very funny. It's a book that can make you laugh till you snort, the way only family can. Sedaris' writings has never been sharper, and his ability to shock readers into laughter is unparalleled. But much of the comedy here is born out of that vertiginous moment when your own body betrays you, and you realize that the story of your life is made up of more past than future. What's up, Uwap? How are you? Yeah. Books. Welcome to the inaugural bookshelf roll. All first reads for me. Doing a book series here, starting with 21 randomly selected books from my own bookshelf. This is beach reading for people who detest beaches. Required reading for those who loathe small talk and love a good tumor joke. Calypso is simultaneously Sedaris' darkest and warmest book yet, and it just might be his very best. Again, knock on wood, big Sedaris fan. Very big David Sedaris fan. I've never read this one. As it called me out in the first paragraph, if you think you know what you're getting into, you'd be wrong. Would be excited to check out David Sedaris' Calypso. Next up, I think that's right. Yep. Okay. Next up is another from our bookshelf that Minky Moo got. And I should let you know, most of the books that dabble in nonfiction that aren't personal memoirs or essays are Minky Moo's. So like Salt, Just My Type, those are all Minky Moo's. She definitely leans more towards nonfiction writing. I definitely lean towards fiction and stories. This is a nonfiction book that I find pretty exciting that Minky Moo was reading and I think stopped halfway, but I would be excited to check out myself just given the subject matter. This is another newer book. This is called Everything I Need, I Get From You. How Fangirls Created the Internet as We Know It by Caitlin Tiffany. In Everything I Need, I Get From You, Caitlin Tiffany guides us through the online world of fans, stans, and boy bands. Along the way, you did finish this one. Okay, I see this in here, like the halfway through stop, and I was wondering. Along the way, we meet girls who damage their lungs by screaming too loudly, fans rallying together to manipulate chart numbers, and an underworld of inside jokes surrounding One Direction band members' allergies, internet typos, and hairstyles. In the process, Tiffany makes a convincing and often moving argument that fangirls, in their ingenuity and collaboration, created the social internet that we know today. With humor, empathy, and an insider's eye, Everything I Need, I Get From You reclaims internet history for young women, establishing fandom not as the territory of hysterical girls, but as an incubator for digital innovation, art, and community. From alarming conspiracy theories about fake children to the interplay between high and low culture and capitalism, Tiffany's book is a riotous chronicle of the movement that changed internet history forever. What a sell, right? Especially for like being on Twitch, being involved in art and community and culture, to very actively reframe stan culture as, you know, not only like an incubator, but a seismic shift in the entire way people communicate fundamentally on the internet. Everything I Need, I Get From You, How Fangirls Created the Internet as We Know It. Very interesting book that I've definitely wanted to read for a long time now. Next up, following Tiffany, is, well, pretty classic one. Let me just make sure there's nothing written in here. I think we're good. This is The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, the original 1876 edition with complete 162 illustrations by Mark Twain. Now, I received Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn, as well as the new book James, which is another 2024 novel that has been getting really, really effusive praise. Known as like one of the best books of the year, if not one of the best books in a very, very, very long time. It is a recontextualization of the character James from Huckleberry Finn. So I got all of them in anticipation of reading James, and, you know, then life happened and I didn't quite get to it. So the first book, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, 1876, by Mark Twain, about a boy growing up along the Mississippi River. Set in the 1840s. Look at the way the white balance is going absolutely crazy with this book cover. What the? Dude, what the? Yeah, what is going on? Are we good? Set in 1840s in the town of St. Petersburg, which is based on Hannibal, Missouri, where Twain lived as a boy. In the novel, Tom Sawyer has several adventures, often with his friend Huckleberry Finn. Originally a commercial failure, the book ended up being the best-selling of any of Twain's works during his lifetime. Though overshadowed by its sequel, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, the book is considered by many to be a masterpiece of American literature. It is one of the first novels to be written on a typewriter. I didn't know that. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer could be the first book pulled from the bookshelf. All right, after Twain, I'll give you guys a hint if anybody wants to guess. This is the oldest book on this list by a pretty considerable margin, I'll be honest. In fact, the copy that I have here, to give you context, is, let me find the publication date. It looks like it's written in pencil on here. It says either from 1941 to 1955 print dates. So it looks like it's not actually in here, but this is part of the Modern Library collection. The next book on the list is Candide by Voltaire. This is actually a book that I have started, but never finished. Candide, written by Voltaire, is a real classic of literature, written in something like 13 days or something. Where is it? Three days. Ever since 1759, when Voltaire wrote Candide in ridicule of the notion that this is the best of all possible worlds, the world has been a gayer place for readers. Voltaire wrote it in 3 days, and 5 or 6 generations have found that its laughter does not grow old. Now we're looking more like 7 or 8 or 9 or even 10. Candide has not aged. Yet how different the book would have looked if Voltaire had written it 150 years later than 1759. It would have been, among other things, a book of sights and sounds. A modern writer would have tried to catch and fix in words some of those Atlantic changes which broke. Tried to catch and fix. A modern writer would have tried to catch and fix in words some of those Atlantic changes which broke the Atlantic monotony of that voyage from Cadiz to Buenos Aires. You can smell this book through the screen. You absolutely can. When Martin and Candide were sailing the length of the Mediterranean, we should have had a contrast between naked, scarped Balearic cliffs, I didn't say that right, and headlands of Calabria in their mists. We should have had quarter distances, far horizons, the altering silhouettes of an Ionian island. Colored birds would have filled Paraguay with their silver or acid cries. There is no, aside from this introduction, which, gets into spoilers of the book itself, there is no description of Candide. It is a through and through classic, one of the most important pieces of literature ever, I would say, in that pantheon of the greats, and a book that I would love to finish reading as part of the bookshelf. 2 more books. We've got, and remember, as soon as we're done reading off all of these books, establishing them, we are going to do a marble roll, and then I am going to start my first read of, I was about to show the book, The Bookshelf, the inaugural bookshelf selection. This is The Attention Merchants by Tim Wu. The epic scramble to get inside our heads. Ours is often called an information economy. But at a moment when access of information is virtually unlimited, our attention has become the ultimate commodity. In nearly every moment of our waking lives, we face a barrage of efforts to harvest our attention. This condition is not simply the byproduct of recent technological innovations, but the result of more than a century's growth and expansion in the industries that feed on human attention. Wu's narrative begins in the 19th century, when Benjamin Day discovered that he could get rich selling newspapers for a penny. Subsequently, every new medium, from radio to television to internet companies such as Google and Facebook, has attained commercial viability and immense riches by turning itself into an advertising platform. Since the early days, the basic business model of attention merchants has never changed. Free diversion in exchange for a moment of your time, sold in turn to the highest bidding advertiser. Full of lively, unexpected storytelling and piercing insight, The Attention Merchants lays bare the true nature of a ubiquitous reality we can no longer afford to accept at face value. The Attention Merchants, really excited for this one. Axel, I got you. And this is another one of Minky Moose, if you can't tell. Would be stoked to read it. Last but not least, the 21st book before the marble roll. We've got Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner, a memoir. From the indie rock musician known as Japanese Breakfast, an unflinching, powerful story of family, food, grief, and love. When Michelle Zauner was in her mid-20s, working as a waitress and struggling to launch her music career in Philadelphia, she got a call that her mother was ill. She put her life on hold and flew home to Eugene, Oregon, to be with her mother through the final, excruciating months of her battle with cancer. This is Zauner's searingly candid coming-of-age story of growing apart from, and then back together with, her Korean identity, and of forging her own path in the wake of a devastating loss. With humor and heart, she tells of growing up Asian American, straining to meet her mother's expectations, moving across the country, and returning home to reckon with grief. She recalls treasured childhood holidays spent in her grandmother's tiny apartment in Seoul, and now, in adulthood, learning to cook the Korean dishes that revive and nourish those memories. She savors the unexpected solace of weekly trips to her favorite Asian grocery store. Vivacious and plain-spoken, lyrical and honest, Zauner's voice is as radiantly alive on the page as it is on stage. Crying in H Mart is an exquisite debut, a book to cherish, share, and reread. 21 novels. Not all novels, but 21 books. 21 books, all here on the right-hand side for the inaugural bookshelf roll. We're done. Games are done. We're reading now. What's up, readers? How are we doing? Here's the deal. Just like anything else, I am going to set up the marbles on stream so that we can roll for our first bookshelf selection. Let me think this one. Nope. This one? Perfect. If anybody wants to join in that has not joined in yet, you can use Easy Join to join in on the marble race tonight. Perfect. No roll credits tonight just because this is the start of something new. Where am I going? I'm going to Google Sheets. I am going to roll credits, updates. No, 2025, April. Perfect. Okay, here's the deal. I am going to count down. At the end of this countdown, the list will lock. If you still need to join in, send join in all caps. If you want to join in and you're not currently subbed and you want to join in with just for being here, we're not going to do roll credits today, but given that this is a brand new thing, I'll let you join in just for joining in. If you use the channel point reward, join with roll credits. I won't even cost you any roll credits. I'll just get you joined in. I'm going to count down. At the end of this countdown, we're going to be locked. So if you want to get in, you got to get in before the countdown is finished. All right? Here we go. This is new. This is new. Isn't this cool? That's it. That's it. Entries are now locked. Everything is locked. Couldn't join in even if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, I'm sure this is going to be a lead pipe cinch.
Let me grab everything here. April 1?
Oh, a demolition pack. Right. Good thing I remember to pack a few of those.
And then we'll go like this.
I'll take your word for it.
And I am going to move everybody down to 1 for the sake of this roll. You guys think we're going to get some cool emotes and sound redeems from these books? Hey, you never know. You never know. So I'm going to read who's in this list because I have to also grab the reward queue ones. So let me do... There are 3 joined with roll credits.
Ready?
I have lowercase j. Lowercase, like books. That's crazy, dude. I've got Draconics 1. And I've got Phantom Girl 22. Okay, here's who I've got. I just want to list them off. Code KCG, Fairstex, me, I'm in here, whatever. I'll delete mine. Minish, Franco845, Juno Glow, Minky Moo, Wrist, 5, Nancy Drew 420, Polycubic, Hearts Loves, Broken Quest, Susie McBoozy, Axel Firewood, Crisper Bird, Earth Nuggets, Alpha 42, Lowercase J Draconics, Phantom Girl. In addition to the 21 books on the list, that's a total of 40 entries. A nice, easy, breezy 40 entries. Nah, keep yours. It's the first book. No, it's not right. Not right. Hang on. Actually, I don't need to do it this way. Let me just save this as a .csv. And then, oh, I have to do it this way, actually. Let me go here, here. And since it's all 1, I don't even need to do the marble sort. As I said, I mean, as soon as this list is finalized and we do the marble roll, I'm going to start my first read of any of these books. And I'm looking forward to it. So let me go to Steam. Let me go to Marbles on Stream. Let me go, yep, there. Books are below. If you don't know what you're excited for, if you don't know what you're looking for, if you don't know what you want to root for, again, the list is below and will be throughout the night. I am going to put in the bookshelf list. We are looking at 40 books, 40 selections, and discard and exit. This is good. This is good. NIV is the best translation. I was wondering where the NIV falls across all of the different translations. I literally was as I pulled that out. I was like, are people going to be like, NIV? Okay. Whatever you like. Let's do... We got like a library. It doesn't matter. We're doing Bongo Boogie. A marble diner reading at the diner? Sure. You know what? Sure.
I've got to find a way out of here.
That sounds perfect, actually.
What the hell is that thing?
We're not going to change to
I don't like the
crazy,
sound of this one bit.
over-the-top, exciting music because this is a relaxed stream. We have 40 selections entered. Only one can win and become the inaugural first bookshelf selection here on Capralogue, where I will be doing my first read of the book live here on Twitch. 40 marbles enter. Only one can win. If you are here in chat and your marble crosses the finish line first, you get to select what book I might be reading. Well, the book I will be reading. You might get to select the book I will be reading. If you win, you will get to select the book that I will be reading, but you only might win, so you only might select the book. Here we go. At the Marble Diner, a nice and easy breezy marble race for the bookshelf.
How the hell should I know?
Number 1. The first to make it down is Salt by Mark Kurlansky, but a lot of marbles have the momentum here. Fairstacks as well as Franco in the lead in this first spinner. Franco actually has the breakaway here, going faster than the winning Might and Magic roll from before. Pretty exciting stuff. As we look, we've got the NIV Bible on the left-hand side. We've got Franco and Fair on the right-hand side. The Bible getting the breakaway. Just My Type, not too far behind. Just My Type, the book on fonts. The Bible is blasting ahead. Somebody has a mission for me. The Bible way in the lead. It's truly way in the lead. But will it get stuck up in this area here? Just My Type coming along behind, but the Bible still has the lead. As it goes into the next leg of this race, the Bible gets a little bit of a momentum push, but not super fast. Just My Type behind as well. Franco falling to their doom. Actually not sure how that happened. This has been a pretty chill race, all things considered. Franco, I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on with you. The Bible going in is going to go the right hand or the left hand side. It's going to the left. Into the next funnel. Spinning down, 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 and forward, forward, forward. Hitting the rumble strips here. It looks like it's the Bible's race to lose. Just My Type on the right-hand side. The Bible going into this next big spinner. Getting stuck and going through the full spin. Going ahead, getting stuck. This could change things here. The Bible keeps getting stuck. It's getting stuck again. Polycubic going ahead, but the Bible got stuck again. Polycubic. The Road by Cormac McCarthy cuts ahead at the last second. No one could have expected this. No one could have expected this. With Minky Moo in second place. Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Cormac McCarthy's The Road wins the race with the Bible getting stuck here in the hamster wheel for too long. For way too long. What a shame. Wow. Really, 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 really close. Unbelievable stuff. This changes everything. That's just how it goes at the Marble Diner. Fair in the very back. Leading the caboose. Might not even make it before the fires take him. Everybody, a salute for hearts. Oh! Sorry, can't get too... Wow. Fair put the skates on. That was crazy. Hearts. Salutes for hearts. Unbelievable, right at the very end. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. I suppose that's it. With a winning time of 1 minute, 59 and 73 100ths of a second. Just skating in under the 2 minute mark. The winner of the bookshelf. Read number 1. Cormac McCarthy's The Road. Mr. Boop was so close. Truly so close. The Bible was... the Bible was in the lead for a very long time. But the winner, The Road. Cormac McCarthy's The Road. Now, here's the thing. Reading to me is a different form of conversation. I am excited to dig into the history of Cormac McCarthy's The Road. However, I do find that going to a library, going to a bookstore, pulling something off the shelf, and just cracking into it right there, going into the Barnes and Noble, little cafe area and sitting down at one of the big couches and reading a little bit is, you have the Oprah edition of this one? Nice. So, I think it's not out of the question. I think it's the right thing to do to celebrate Cormac McCarthy, The Road, and start my first read of Cormac McCarthy's The Road right now. So I hope you'll join me for my first read, the bookshelf inaugural, Cormac McCarthy's The Road. No chapter title. It doesn't say like chapter
Video game.
1. It just is.
A what?
Hey, no problem, Earth Nuggets. That's what this channel's all about, you know? Kind of sharing my first experience with stuff.
Which way should I go now?
Yo, sick. Hell yeah. Oh, the mirrored cam. Yeah, good call. It looks like I'm reading the manga. Yeah, let me fix that. That's slightly immersion breaking, right? There we go. Camrock Itracom. Yeah, welcome to the bookshelf street. We did a marble roll, and Cormac McCarthy's The Road won the inaugural roll for the bookshelf. So I'm doing my first ever read. I've never read this book before. Doing my first ever read here live on Twitch of the book of The Road. I was gonna say the bookshelf. So no spoilers. This is my first read through. But I'm loving it so far. I'm really loving it. That's funny. It's funny when the Bible almost won to have, he said, if he is not the word of God, God never spoke. I think it's very funny that the Bible just narrowly won, but then lost. And then this one. Poignant. Yeah, we are reading. That's a good shout, Hearts. Like it's September. Is September the publication month? Absolutely is 2006. Oh shit. Oh god. What were your favorite '06 things? Anybody have like their favorite memories of 2006? KCG, you're reading it in your memory right now. That's awesome, man. I wish I had that ability. Just to be able to sit there and read it in your memory. That's crazy. Moved out of my mom's house into a basement with a dirt floor. Got a Wii. That's true. Great year for Bionicle. Okay. New Moon came out. Hell yeah. Well, maybe in the next roll when we get Twilight going, because I can't get to New Moon yet. I can't do New Moon yet. Very unique. So I've read No Country for Old Men. So this isn't my first McCarthy. The way that he doesn't use quotation marks. I don't know if you're familiar, if you've read a McCarthy book before. He just omits quotation marks entirely. And so it's just like the characters talk and it's just in the middle of the paragraph. I've never quite read another author that does that, and it takes a second to get your brain like aligned to it. Hang on. And the winner is The Road. Starting my first read through now. Cool. Cool. Sounds like Darcy without using capitals. Kind of. It's just, it's very unique. I can kind of, here, I can show you. Like, "Are you okay?" he said. There's no quotation marks at all. It just goes, which is, it's really, I've never felt anything quite like it when reading. That's how Sally Rooney writes as well. Interesting. There's a quotation at the beginning and the end of the book. That's really good. That's really funny. He is good at describing things, though. I will tell you. Man. I love post-apocalyptic stuff so much.
Whoa! That steam's hot enough to roast someone.
Ugh. Sorry. No spoilers, hearts, please, 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 please. You know better than to do that. So glad to experience this with you. I'm glad. I was nervous about like rolling this out because it's such a unique approach to, I don't know, just sharing experience. And I spent a lot of time thinking about how this was going to happen. And I'm really happy. Just, it's kind of been going off without a hitch and exactly how I envisioned. So thank you for being here. Thank everybody for supporting what I do and what this is all about. Yeah, and it's the kind of thing that is, it's a risk trying to do something new like this. Especially, like, bucking the natural order of things and go in like, this is going to be a 2-day-a-week thing going forward. Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so we'll have the Sunday story, we'll have Monday be the game, Tuesday will be a bookshelf stream, Wednesday will be the game, Thursday will be a bookshelf stream. And just to have the level of excitement. Is it cool if I chill here but read a different book? I hadn't even thought about that, Boris. I can't like, you know, we're all having a good time. I'm super into the new Hunger Games that Hust dropped. Yeah, I mean, if that's what you want to do. I didn't know you were German or whatever. Yeah, feel free. I think about like when I'm playing a game, people are playing their own games on the side. That's totally fine, but please, I mean, obviously no spoilers, nothing like that. Cuz I might get to the Hunger Games later on when things get rolled. No spoilers, KCG? It's great to see you, though, Boris. Wow. And great use of the banjo Makise Kurisu emote as well. This is the start of our post-apocalyptic. What the hell is a grike? I have nothing against like ebooks if that's how you want to do it. But there's something different about like really physically having like the analog feedback of turning the page and the little imperfections of print that you don't quite get in an ebook. Ebook is so smoothed over and like you can put filters on or whatever, but it's still not the same, you know? The flow of your hand turning each individual page, it's hard to get it exactly as accurate in an ebook format. They're getting better though. You can't mod analog books though. Yeah, I see that as a solution, not a problem. Okay, enjoy getting your tired fingers. Okay, all right, enough. We joke, but I actually do need to read the post-apocalyptic novel first off. I refute the assertion that we're joking. Secondly, lowercase j, who is here earlier on in the stream, in their, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, I'm sure I am. It's their patron Discord server for their Patreon. They're doing a reading of On the Beach. Right? It's in J's, right? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's in the Action Button server and Jay is coordinating it. I actually don't know. It's somewhere. I know there is a group of people doing a read-through of On the Beach. J-Cord? Yeah. Couldn't remember. Buying the ebook DLC that gives you that old book smell. There are just certain things that you can't replicate. And not all of them are good, but all of them are texturally important to really getting that first experience appreciation. I'm not going to go so far as to say that if you read the ebook, you didn't read the book, but I don't know. I mean, it really doesn't matter. But at the same time, there's something about having the book. There's something about it. Thanks for telling me what a grike is, by the way. A crack in pavement or limestone. Good word. Really good word. Are you hopping on the beach as well? I am not, just because I still haven't played Death Stranding 1. Or at least I haven't beaten it. I got it when it came out, and I think like most people, the nature of life at the time just kind of, I don't know. I was in New York City. I was in a new relationship. It just didn't. But it's on the list. You know, we could roll it going forward. Too much talking. I agree. Sorry, Nancy. Moderating. Thank you. Thanks for being a good mod. What is this music? The city of Manan in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. The boy had found some crayons and painted his face mask with fangs, and he trudged on uncomplaining. That's so sick. I have a I have a question. I have to interrupt things again here for a minute. Is that a reasonable adjective? What do you mean, bro? What do you mean? Yes, yeah, vestibular, sorry. Vestibular. Vestibular, yeah, sorry, my finger's all, my finger was, it's hard to see it. Think about that though, you ever been out there on a night like that? I guess you're right. I guess you're right. I have. I guess I have. You know, now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, man. Oh. I suppose you're right. Yeah. Whew. It is. It is. It is evocative. Oh. Oh, man. We've lost 2 followers in this stream so far. Whew. They wouldn't get it. They wouldn't get it anyway. Thing is, I wonder if it's harking back to the etymology of the word, which I think has something to do with solitariness. I could be wrong, but something's rattling in my head about that. Yeah, I don't think that it's like active. I don't think McCarthy's actively like taking a shot. You know, but it still stops you in your tracks a little bit. Oh. Inside the barn 3 bodies hanging from the rafters, dried and dusty among the wan slats of light. Crazy, dude. Dried and dusty. Ugh. Think about how long. Shoulders having like a ½ inch of dust on them. I love a paperback. For a long time, I thought, like, I've been buying hardcovers because I think the hardcovers are really cool. But there's something about holding a paperback like this. There's something you can't beat. Love this library you have. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This was on google.com/images/library shelves wallpaper. Seen vintage paperbacks. You can open them and they'll just lay open. They won't even snap back. Huh. This isn't your library? No, this is all a set. This is all a set. I rented a set for this. I'm not even at home. And so, basically, I went to Google Images and I looked up library wallpaper. And I found that the source of the image was nearby. And so I called them up. When did I start doing this? I think this had to have been like mid-November, when I really was first starting to put all of the stuff in motion. Yeah, I know. I don't like it either. The more I look at it, the freakier it gets. But I mean, it is what it is. I don't even know if it's a real image or if it's artificial intelligence. Oh, sorry. There's like a good chance it's artificial intelligence, right? I can't read any of the spines. But I can tell you where I got it from, or where I went, I guess. What did I call it? Library shelves wallpaper. Classic library shelves wallpaper from Wallpapers OK. The wood is overlapping the books. Yo. Very optical illusion, they're just at various depths. Yeah, I think you're right. That looks like Vivencies. Yeah, I mean this is not blurring together into one blob picture. I don't know. That's Parnaso. That's El Cislo XX. That's Catalonia. That's Civilizaciones something. Polycubic's calling it. Real. Real. Scarlet. We got real words. We got a lot of real words. And it shows. All right, now please. Ooh. Help me. I don't remember where it was before. Okay. I'm behind you reading it over your shoulder. Don't scare me, man. I'm immersed. We got plenty of people reading it on their own here, sharing this time with me at the bookshelf. Don't tell me you're over my shoulder. It's a scary book enough on its own. Yo, dude. Dude. He's having a Coca-Cola, man. I wish the kid with the books was here. I don't even know where he is. Hang on. I actually don't know where that... Obviously, I can just Google it again. Books on the kid. It's actually harder than you'd think to find who put the books on the kid. He has been missing for 2 years. Yeah, I got bad news. I don't think anybody came to get him. The boy's body, dry and dusty. Who the hell put the books on the kid, man? Who would do that to him? You got to think about it that way. This may look really bad, but in the road world, not being under books might be worse. That's what happens to you if you try to read Hunger Games before the road. Aww. I think this is probably a good place. Just outside of the father's old childhood home. I think that this is a perfect place to celebrate kicking this thing off without getting too deeply invested to where I shut myself off from the world entirely. Really just captivated by the start of this thing. What a fun inaugural, it's modern, but it's like, it's the definition of like an instant modern classic, And again, I've read No Country for Old Men, but this is really good. This is really good, the way that it obviously influenced
Okay,
media
finished.
across the board. That's me right now, Jack. Okay, finished. Huge. Really exciting. Just thank you guys. Thank you so much for being here and celebrating this new idea. Yes, we'll be back on Thursday, and we'll probably do like an 8-hour, I would guess. It's the kind of thing where I can afford to, sit and chill longer. I'm not as like dedicated to playing something and the mental taxing there. So we'll probably go like, I don't know, let's say like 2 o'clock to 10, maybe like a 3 to 11, 4 to 12. Winfrey asked, and thank you, because this is the stuff that'll go into the companion. Winfrey asked if The Road was just a story of a man and his boy or something deeper. I like to think it's just about the boy and the man on the road, but obviously you can draw conclusions about all sorts of things from reading the book, depending on your taste, McCarthy said. I couldn't have said it better myself. Listen, that's the realest interview answer of all time. So is The Road about a boy and his father, or is it about something more? Yeah, I mean, it depends, I guess. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, so we'll probably do 8 hours on Thursday, and then next Tuesday we'll do another 8, and then next Thursday we'll do another. So like Tuesdays and Thursdays, just expect 8 to 12. I could probably pull a 12 here and there. But depending on how hooked we are, I think very safely an 8-hour shift of reading together. I mean, me reading makes it sound so, I don't know, uninviting. This is like a community thing. And that's really what I'm excited to showcase here with the bookshelf, is just the ability to pick up a book for the first time here on stream and just read it alongside all of you. And it's so exciting so far. It's so exciting.